Hey everybody, we're back with the last of our basic skills for the month of March. Earlier in the week, we put out the video where we were going through the skills, building up a combo with that. We were pretty much staying in place, utilizing front stance. Okay, now we're going to use that same inside middle block and palm heel strike. We're just not doing the kick, and we'll be moving a little bit forward and a little bit back. This is something you'll be able to do in a hallway if that's all the space that you've got. And how many steps forward or backward you take as you practice this really depends on the space that you have. If it's going to turn into some nice weather, maybe you've got the backyard. If all you've got is the hallway, however long your hallway is, we don't have a lot of long hallways. So I'm going to be just taking 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, because that's about the distance we have here. Fortunately, I've got a little bit more to work with right now, but just so you get the idea. I'm going to start off with front stance. I'm going to put my left foot in front, and I'm going to be doing 2 techniques with every step. I'm going to start my techniques with an inside middle block, and then I'm going to fire the palm strike second. Okay, so as I fire the inside middle block, pay attention to your hip motion. Okay, rotating the hips to move that parrying block up into position, then using the hips to fire into the strike, square them back up, striking with the heel of the palm for that palm heel strike. Okay. The other thing you need to worry about is your foot movement. All right. I've got these lines by the square tiles in the room here. So I've got 1 foot on one side on one line and 1 foot on the other line. So I'm going to be circling my feet, bring them together and circle them forward. And I've always got that line as my reference. Okay. If you have hardwood floors or tile floors at your house, you're going to have some built-in lines that you can use for reference, just depending upon which way the boards or the tiles are going. If not, you can usually gauge about how far in a hallway your feet are from the walls. If you're outside, you'll need some other frame of reference just to make sure that everything is in place. But you're looking for something that's about a shoulder width apart, maybe just slightly wider. And then you want about half again as long forward to backward with your stance. So as I finish this out, I've taken 1 step. I'll take my second step. Again, my feet come together in a semicircle motion and then finish all the way to the front. Then I'll do the same thing going back. I will circle my feet back together, back onto that line, get the proper width in my front stance. Front knee is bent. Then I circle the front foot again, back into my starting position, and I've got my stance. Okay, so let's just work the stance. Put your hands on your hips, or you can stick your hands out this way, but you're going to keep as relaxed as you can on your shoulders, and the hands are out, and keep your shoulders and hips square to your front. Okay, so taking step 1, circle all the way into front stance, and 2, circle into front stance, and then we'll go backwards. 1, circling back. Make sure you give yourself a full step going backwards. And 2, circle all the way back. Don't shortchange those steps on the way back. Tendency is to take a little bit shallower step, moving backwards, so make sure they're consistent. Okay. Now let's add that inside middle block into this. Okay. So I've got my rear hand extended, so my blocking hand can come underneath. It is getting ready by coming across like I'm sticking it into my armpit, and then it's going to push up and outward, carrying an incoming attack to my outside, and then the lead hand, that hand that was just out, is pulling all the way back. Okay, so as I step for that block, when I get about halfway, my hands are going to come up into this position. So as I finish the step, I'm blocking. Okay, so my hands will come up. I'm about halfway. As I get to halfway, my hands are ready. As I circle out, finish the block. And the same thing going backwards. I'm going to circle back, hands coming under the arm, finish the step backwards, and block. Again, that blocking hand just straightens up as if you had a hold of something and it's just drug out straight. The other hand comes underneath it. As I finish my step, I block. do that together. 1, step, and block. 2, step, and block, and backwards. 1, step, block. 2, step, block. Okay? And repeat that as many times as you need to, going forward and backward. Just try to get the same number of steps on each side. And if you can, do more than 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Even if it's forward, backward, repeat, repeat, repeat that way, depending on your space. Now let's add that palm heel strike. So this will be a reverse palm heel strike, meaning that it's not coming from the lead hand. So I'm still going to be setting up this way to do my block, but now the palm heel is going to come from that rear hand. Shift the hips straight, striking that out. Now what that means is as I step forward, that hand's going to close up and it's going to come underneath. So it's going to feel like you're doing a punch halfway through here, but just not full force. So I'm coming under that arm, finish the step out, and block. Okay? After the block, strike, palm strike. All right, then as I'm coming forward, I close that up into a fist, bringing it under. So it's again like you take that rear hand and punch, but it just is going to come right back into position to do that block, and then fire the palm strike. And then the same thing coming back. As I step back, close the fist up, bring it under, finish the step, block, strike. Stepping back, close the fist, come under, stepping back, block, and strike. Okay? So, let's do that together. 1, coming forward, block, strike. 2, forward, block, strike. And let's go back. 1, coming back, block, strike. And 2, stepping back, block, strike. Okay? So, repeat that as many times as you can put in. Normally when we're in class, we're going for 10 forward, 10 back, depending upon our space. Sometimes we don't get that and we're 4 back, 4 forward, 5 forward, 5 back, whatever. But just try to go for as many reps as you can with that, focusing on good stepping with your stance, good execution for your block and for your strike. Okay? Have fun with that, and we'll see you on the next video.